thought I'd make a burger today. Haven't done one for a long time, so it's time to make another burger. Now this burger is really flavoursome. Now what we're going to do is serve it up with a sesame seed bun, and then we're going to put a really nice sort of garlicky mayonnaise in there, and it's absolutely delish. So to make up these burgers, just going to quickly go through the ingredients I'm going to use. Now I've got some beef mince. This is lean beef steak mince, 500 grams of that. Lee Perry's Worcester sauce, 1 teaspoon. That gives it a really sort of meaty, delicious flavour. Then we're going to use 1 teaspoon of cumin, oregano and paprika. Now those spices we're actually going to put in the frying pan with half a red onion, sort of chopped fairly fine, and just sort of cook it up for about 5-6 minutes. And once it's softened down a little bit, then we can add it all into the mixture with the meat, along with probably about half a beaten egg and a good handful of breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs and the egg just helps to kind of bind it all together. So really simple ingredients, but absolutely delicious burgers. So now I've gone through the ingredients, what we're going to do is start making up these burgers. First thing I'm going to do is get the onion, chop it in half, and then we're going to chop it down fairly fine, add it into the frying pan, a little bit of oil, and then we're just going to add the cumin, oregano and paprika. So let's go over to the pan, get it all cooking. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in there, you don't need a lot. That'll do. Just switch the heat on, and then we're going to add in the onions and then put the oregano, the cumin and the paprika in there. So I'm just going to switch the heat on. So I'm just going to put the onions in. Just give them a quick stir around, just try and get them all coated, a little bit of oil. That's it. Then we can put in 1 teaspoon of the oregano, cumin powder and the paprika. It's going to smell really nice now. So what we're going to do is just give it a mix up, as I say, about 5 minutes, and turn the heat down if you need to. Just turn mine down a little bit. Right, I'm just going to get this all mixed really. Beautiful. You get a really nice colour on the paprika, and this is just, a lot of the flavours are in here are going to be mixed with the mincemeat. It's going to be really nice. So just keep turning it round, and as I say, 5 or 6 minutes, take it off the heat, let it cool down. So I've been cooking mine for about 5 minutes. I'm just going to take it off the heat, give it the final stir. It's just starting to soften down, so you can do it a bit longer if you like, but I've done mine for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to take that off the heat, let it cool down for a little bit, and we're going to get on and make up the rest of the mixture. So going to get a bowl with some beef mince in there. So I've got myself a bowl with the mince in. Now first of all, just going to season it. Good pinch of salt. Then I've got me Lee Perry's Worcester sauce. Now I'm going to use a teaspoon of that. That'll do. And next of all that onion we fried, those lovely spices. They've cooled down just enough now. It's not completely cold, but that'll do. Then I'm going to pour in a little bit of beaten egg. You can always add a little bit more if you need it. Add that along with some breadcrumbs, mix it up and see how it feels to you. See if it's sort of binding together and not too wet and not too dry, Again, you can always add more breadcrumbs if you need them. Let's just give it a good squelch around the hands and get it all mixed up. So I'm just going to give it a quick mix up really. Oh, it smells good. You can smell that Worcester sauce. And this kitchen smells of those lovely flavours when we were frying up the onion. Really nice. I might just add a little bit more breadcrumbs. That's it. I don't want it to be too wet, the mixture. So I'll just carry on doing this, probably for about a minute, until you got it all nicely mixed up. That's it. There you go, all done. So I'm going to get on and make my burgers. Now I've got a plate there and I just wiped a little bit of oil because I want to lay them on there and, you know, the burgers, and make sure they don't stick to the plate. So a little bit of oil on a plate stops them sticking, otherwise you could use a little bit of flour. Now I'm going to make 4 burgers because I've got some quite big sesame seed buns. So I'm going to split that into 4 and then we're going to flatten it out, make some nice little patés. So let's first of all just roughly kind of cut it in half. And then we can just sort of cut it up again to make it into 4. Let's see how we do it now. Just nick a bit more. So there we go. Got the 4 there. Roughly about the same sort of size. So everybody should get a fairly even sort of burger. So let's make one of these up. Just sort of grab it really. I want to kind of make sure it's first of all squashed together and then just flatten it out into a good size patty. That'll do. So I'll just lay that there and carry on with the other 3. That's it. Just doing my last one. Might as well bring these into view. Squash it down nice and flat and just tuck the edges in just to make sure that it's all nicely bound together, and try and get them about the same sort of thickness because then they'll cook at the same sort of time. Now once we've done this, what you can do is you can keep them in the fridge, let them chill out a little bit, and then it's ideal, you know, whether you're going to cook them up later, put them on a barbecue, whatever you've done. So there we go, got me 4, looking delicious. So let's wrap them up in a little bit of cellophane, put them in the fridge. Just going to wrap mine up. There you go, all ready to go. So I've put my burgers in the fridge. Now the reason I've done that is because it helps to sort of cool them down and, you know, bind together so a little bit firmer. So when you put them in your hot pan or on your sort of, you know, barbecue later on, they're more likely to stay together, which is what you want. A big juicy burger that hasn't all fallen apart. So if you can, put them in the fridge. If you're really desperate to sort of get your burger cooked, then obviously put it in the frying pan and cook it as is. Skip the bit with the fridge. So next of all, we're going to make that mayonnaise dressing that's going to go with the burger. Now for that, all you're going to need is some mayonnaise, a little bit of salt, a little bit of parsley. You can use fresh parsley, finely chopped. And I've got onion granules or onion powder. Just use a sprinkling of that. Bit of lemon juice, so good couple of squeezes of that. And then I've got 1 garlic, going to crush it down really fine and add some, you know, to make it really delicious. Now the only thing you've got to watch is not to use too much garlic, otherwise it will be a little bit overpowering. So be a bit careful with the amount of garlic you use. So I'm just going to start with the mayonnaise. Now, I'm not going to measure it as such, but I'd probably say 3 or 4 dessert spoons of mayonnaise, a little bit of salt. We've got the parsley. Again, you can always taste it once it's all done and, you know, do it to your own taste. Again, got these onion granules, a little pinch of that. Try not to get the pips. Let's just put a bit of lemon in there. Then next thing I'm going to do is get me garlic. I'm going to crush it up in the machine, add it into the mixture, give it a quick stir, and then we're just going to taste it. Only a little bit. That's much better. Got that little bit of lemon, and you can taste that garlic. Really nice. This is going to be great with the burger. So I'm going to put that aside. Might as well put it in the fridge whilst I'm waiting for the burgers. And just going to wash my salad because we're going to use a little bit of lettuce and sliced tomato to make a really tasty burger. So I've just taken me 4 burgers from out the fridge. I've left them there a while. I'm going to take them over to the hob and we're going to start cooking them up. So I've got me 4 burgers and got myself a frying pan. Now I normally use my griddle when I'm cooking on the hob, but because it's all packed away, because I'm just in the middle of a move at the moment, I've had to use my frying pan. But equally, as I say, you can do this on the barbecue. So we're going to get on and cook the burgers. Now, just switch it on. Now I'm going to turn the heat down because I'm using the highest burner. I don't want it too hot, but equally you do want to get a nice colour on the outside. So just about medium or just below. Now I'm going to put just a little flicker of oil in there. I'm going to pick up one of my burgers. Now also, I'm just going to put a little bit on my hands and just gently rub that in. They feel quite nice and firm when they've been in the fridge. That's good. Now I probably just about managed to get 2 in there, I think. So let's just put one in. I'm going to pop another one in there as well. Might be pushing me luck with 3. Just do 2, and make sure you've got enough heat that you build a bit of colour up. Now, cooking time, I'm not going to give the exact cooking time because it depends how thick your burgers are and also what sort of heat you're doing it on. But I'd say roughly about 4 or 5 minutes each side. You can always stick a knife in when you think it's cooked and see if the juices run clear. So keep an eye on it, and what I'd say is turn it over a couple of times. Don't squash it down, otherwise you're going to get all the juices coming out, the really nice flavours. So just carefully flick it over every, few minutes. Now I'm just going to grab my burger. It's been cooking for a few minutes. Look at that. What a colour. Oh, that looks good. Nearly squashed it down then. Got told off last time I had a burger because I squashed it down. But this time, don't squash it down. Keep all the juices in the burger. So mine have had 3 minutes on the first side. Flipped them over and then we just done another 3 minutes. Let's just have a look. Yeah, getting a really nice colour. Now I'm going to turn the heat right down and just for the last couple of minutes just let it cook away, and then we're going to test it to make sure it's all cooked throughout. Just for the last minute. Might as well flip it over. It's really nice on that side. Look at that beautiful colour. So just leave it for the last minute and then it'll have had 8 minutes, and then I'm just going to quickly test it. So I've cooked for 8 minutes. Now I'm going to pick a nice thick bit, give it a squash, and let's have a look, see if those juices, just a little bit of pink in there. So going to leave it another minute each side just to make sure. And I'm just going to flick that over. And in a minute we'll just take it off the heat, let them cool down a little bit while we make up the buns. So all in all, my burgers have had 10 minutes. So roughly 5 minutes each side. Do make sure that the juices are running clear. So just stab a knife in and make sure it's all nice and clear juices coming out. Now I'm going to switch mine off. I'm going to go over and start making up the bun with all that sort of lettuce and tomatoes. Put some of that really nice dressing that we've made up, and then just put the burgers on top. It's going to be delicious. So let's just get the buns. 1, 2. Oh yeah. Now I'm going to get some pieces of lettuce. Let it all hang out a little bit as well. Always looks good. Get some more for the other one. Then we've got the tomato, a couple of nice chunky beefsteak tomatoes there. Now with those tomatoes, just going to put just a little bit of salt on them. Then I've got that really nice dressing. I mean, obviously if you've never made this before, you can always taste it before you serve it up, but it's always good. I know it'll go down well at a barbecue. Or any time really with this burger. There you go. Then I'm just going to put the burgers on top. Still steaming hot. Now with my burgers, I usually like a couple of gherkins. 2 for the other one. Look at that. That looks delicious. Let's just put the lid on. Now, as always, when I've made me food, I'm just going to try one of these. Difficult to know which one. I like the look of this one. It does look rather splendid. Let's just pick this up. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful. Let's just try this. Give it a squash. Look at that sauce all around the edge. Oh, it's going to be good. Let me try it. That is delicious. Really delicious. Oh. You'll really enjoy these burgers. You can't go wrong. Oh, so much flavour and it's delicious with that sauce. That dressing is really nice. Hope you enjoy as much as I do. Thanks for watching The Original Naked Chef.